Hello, my friends, and welcome back to Daily English Voices. I'm not here to impress you, and I'm not here to pour glitter on your pain. I'm here because I care enough to speak plainly. If you're in your 20s or if those years are behind you but their echoes still shape your choices, there are things you deserve to hear in clear, honest English. Not the kind of slogans that win likes, not the kind of quotes that sparkle for a second and vanish, but steady words that help you build a life you can carry with both hands. As you listen, you're not only training your mind, you're training your ear, your tongue, your courage. Shadow the lines that hit you. Pause and repeat what your heart needs to remember. Let the rhythm of these sentences become part of your voice. The first truth is a doorway. No one is coming to rescue you, and that is not a curse, it is your freedom. We all grow up hoping that someday the right person or the right opportunity will find us and do the heavy lifting. We imagine a mentor who says the magical sentence that unlocks the future, a partner who loves us so completely that our doubts disappear, a job offer that fixes our money and our meaning in one signature. But the longer you wait for rescue, the heavier your life becomes. There is a quieter and stronger way. You look in the mirror and tell the truth: if I don't move, nothing moves. That sentence stings for a moment, then it starts to breathe for you. You stop blaming timing, luck, and other people's choices. You start building the habits that make you dependable to yourself. You keep your word in small things until your word can carry big things. And something remarkable happens: the day you stop asking the world to rescue you, you become the kind of person the world wants to help. Once you step through that doorway, you discover your second foundation. You rise and fall with the people around you. We all want to believe we are independent, immune to influence, too strong to be shaped by our environment. But your language, your standards, your decisions, and even your sense of what is normal, grow inside a circle of voices. If your closest conversations are full of complaint and smallness, your dreams will shrink to fit the room. If your daily soundtrack is curiosity, discipline, and kindness, you will start aiming higher without even trying. This isn't a slogan, it's gravity. If you want to keep your fire lit, protect it from wind that blows it out. Spend more time with people who build, read, practice, and challenge one another, and less time with people who only trade gossip, distractions, and easy excuses. You don't have to make a dramatic announcement. You have to make consistent appointments with the gym friend who shows up, with the colleague who shares drafts, with the cousin who is learning something difficult and stubbornly sticking with it. Iron sharpens iron, but only if iron spends time with iron. Your 20s, for many of us, feel like a free pass to drift, explore, and push the hard choices into the mist of later. But there is a better image than drifting: planting. Planting doesn't mean you never laugh or travel or dance. It means that even while you laugh and travel and dance, you're putting seeds in the ground that will feed you later. Learn a skill you can monetize. Read books that fight for your attention and win. Practice deep work that stretches your focus beyond the size of a screen. Save small amounts that grow while you sleep. Move your body in ways that your older self will thank you for. When your 30-year-old self walks back through the garden of your 20s, they will either harvest what you planted or stare at empty soil. Joy is real, and you can have it now, but build alongside it. A future without planting is a party without food. To plant well, you must master the weather inside you. Emotions are signals, not drivers. If you let anger drive, it will crash your friendships. If you let fear drive, it will park your dreams. If you let shame drive, it will circle the same blocks until the tank is empty. Learn to receive your feelings without obeying them. Give yourself 30 minutes of silence before you answer that message. Go for a walk before you reply to that email. Journal the truth instead of performing the story you hope is true. You will suffer until you learn to respond rather than react, and then you will still suffer sometimes, but you will suffer less, and your suffering will transform into wisdom. This is not about being cold. It's about being warm and steady at the same time. The world respects a person who can feel deeply and still choose wisely. Another trap that swallows whole years is the cult of busyness. Busy is not the same as brave. You can fill a day with errands and messages and tiny victories that move nothing essential. Real progress is usually quiet, focused, and slightly uncomfortable. It looks like turning your phone off for 90 minutes and building one thing that matters. It looks like sending a proposal that might be rejected, recording the first rough episode of a show you've dreamed about, building a simple product and showing it to 10 real people who might say no. It looks like learning one high-income skill until you can do it without thinking, then continuing anyway to become rare. The trick is to choose one needle and push it forward daily. Most people walk in circles very quickly and call it momentum. You don't need more speed. You need direction, and you need the courage to move slowly in that direction for longer than your mood. As you move, you will outgrow some relationships. This is one of adulthood's quieter heartbreaks, and there's no clean way to do it without feeling something heavy. People are not all meant to stay. Some teach you what you needed, and that lesson hurts because it asks you to say thank you and goodbye at the same time. Loyalty is a virtue, self-erasure is not. When your peace costs less than your presence in someone else's story, you can stay. When your presence always costs your peace, it's time to leave. Leaving well is part of growing well. You don't have to turn love into bitterness. You don't have to make someone the villain to give yourself permission to walk. You simply have to remember that your future is too fragile to be anchored by past versions of yourself. While we're here, let's speak gently about wounds. Time does not heal everything, it hides many things until life presses the bruise and you flinch. You are not broken because you still react to old pain, you are human. But healing is your responsibility now. That might look like therapy, honest conversations, forgiveness that frees you more than it frees them, and new boundaries that feel awkward at first but will save your life. You can't build a steady home on a shaky foundation. Every time you try, the cracks will show in how you speak, how you love, how you choose. Give your pain the respect you give your goals, scheduled attention, patient practice, and practical steps. When healing becomes part of your routine, your ambition stops bleeding on the people who didn't cut you. Discipline, then, is not punishment, it is self-respect in action. When you wake up and do what you said you would do, you teach your brain that you are trustworthy. The opposite is also true. Every tiny promise you break to yourself makes your future a little heavier to lift. Motivation is a beautiful guest, warm, exciting, generous, but she doesn't live with you. Discipline is the roommate who pays rent on time, cleans the kitchen, and shows up on rainy mornings. Build your life around that roommate. Design your day so that the default choice is the good choice. Put the book on your pillow so it's harder not to read. Lay out your shoes where you step. Block the websites that melt your hours. Set calendar invitations with yourself as if you were the client who keeps your lights on. You don't become strict, you become loyal to the person you're trying to be. While you are practicing loyalty, be careful with comparison. Social media is a gallery without a backstage, and your brain will always lose when it compares its unfiltered doubts to someone else's edited highlight reel. This doesn't mean you need to delete everything forever, but it does mean you should curate your inputs like a diet. Follow builders, learners, thinkers, and people whose honesty doesn't depend on applause. Unfollow accounts that make you shrink or seethe. Take days where nothing bleeps at you. The hours you steal back from comparison will become the hours you invest in creation. A mind fed on outrage becomes reactive, a mind fed on wisdom becomes resilient. Speaking of creation, success is not an accident, it is what happens when daily choices compound quietly over months and years. We love to imagine the moment, the viral loop, the single introduction that flips a life. Those moments exist, but they usually land in a field that has been tilled, watered, and weeded for a long time. Think of the writer who drafts 500 words before breakfast for 2 years. Think of the developer who ships a tiny feature every weekday and adjusts with humility. Think of the teacher who records one clear lesson every afternoon and improves the lighting one lamp at a time. From the outside their progress looks like nothing. From the inside, momentum is building, and when the outside world finally notices, it calls them lucky. You can't control the moment, you can control the practice that invites it. In a world designed to fracture your mind, focus becomes a superpower. It is not glamorous to sit in a quiet room and give your whole attention to one serious task for 90 minutes, but it will change your life faster than any trick. Attention is the currency of creation, spend it where it multiplies. Begin your day without your phone for a little while. Write down 3 meaningful outcomes, not 17 little tasks. Protect a work block as if it were a fragile piece of art you must carry across a crowded street. Tell people you love that you will be unavailable for that short time and then keep your promise. At first your brain will itch for a distraction. Let the itch pass. On the other side of that itch, your best work is waiting. Goals are lovely, habits are honest. You don't rise to what you hope for, you sink to what you repeat. Build tiny actions that are too small to skip and too powerful to ignore. 10 push-ups on sleepy mornings. 200 words when inspiration is quiet. 1 page spoken aloud to train your English mouth and ear, even when you'd rather stay silent. The magic is not in the one dramatic day, it is in the days that look boring from the outside and heroic from the inside. Identity follows evidence. Every time you act like a reader, you prove you are one. Every time you act like a creator, you prove you are one. Every time you act like a learner, you prove you are one. Collect proof until the story you tell about yourself is undeniable. That story lives in your self-talk. If the voice inside you is harsh and hopeless, your feet will drag, even when the road is clear. If the voice inside you is patient and honest, your feet will move even when the road is steep. Listen to the phrases you repeat. I always mess this up. I'm not that kind of person. I never finish. These lines are not facts, they are habits of thought. Replace them with sentences that are true and empowering. I am learning how to do this. I haven't done it yet, and today I will do a small part. I can start over right now. This is not fake positivity. This is mental training, built on evidence you are actively creating. Your brain is an instrument, tune it. You will need to make peace with boredom, too. Mastery grows in quiet repetitions that don't look impressive. The dancer practicing the same turn for the 100th time. The coder refactoring a function no one will ever see. The language learner reading the same story again, noticing a tense they missed yesterday, speaking a sentence a little cleaner than last week. Boredom is the threshold where your old self wants to leave and your new self is almost ready to arrive. When you can sit in that room and keep going, doors open that adrenaline could never break. As you move deeper, the pressure to perform for other people will tug at you. You will be tempted to prove your worth, to chase applause, to shape your life around the measurements that are easiest to count and loudest to show. But the most powerful confidence is quiet and internal. You don't need to announce your work to make it real. You don't need to be seen to be valuable. Build the kind of competence that doesn't panic when ignored. Let your results speak without a megaphone. The tree that grows the tallest spends years deepening roots no one can clap for. Discomfort is not a signal to quit, it is often a sign you are finally touching the edge of your current self. Avoiding difficult conversations, new skills, and honest choices keeps you safe for a day and stuck for a decade. Say the true sentence kindly and directly. Learn the tool that scares you. Step into rooms where you feel slightly underqualified and wildly committed. Courage is not the absence of shaking hands, it is the decision to move them anyway. Confidence arrives after you act, not before. There is no perfect time. There is only this one. Another freedom, no one is thinking about you as much as you fear, and that is permission to experiment. Most people are absorbed in their own storms and their own mirrors. Post the idea. Share the draft. Wear the style. Try the class. If someone judges you, notice that their judgment did not stop your lungs, did not freeze your fingers, did not break your voice. It is a shadow passing over a field that still grows. Sometimes the ending you want doesn't come with a clear conversation, a sincere apology, or the sense of completion you crave. Closure is a gift, peace is a practice. You may never get the explanation you deserve. You are allowed to heal anyway. Accept reality, set a boundary, forgive when you are ready, and reclaim your attention for the life in front of you. You cannot drive forward while staring into the rearview mirror. Glance to learn, look ahead to live. To make all of this sustainable, become a person who relies on systems rather than moods. When you only work on the good days, you don't work often enough. Build a schedule that survives a low-energy morning. Create templates, checklists, and routines that carry you when motivation leaves. If your life depends on feeling like it, you will not feel like it often enough. If your life depends on showing up, you will have something to show. Underneath everything, define success for yourself or the world will sell you its version at a price you can't afford. The outside definition is neat, title, numbers, milestones on a timeline. The inside definition is honest, peace, presence, usefulness, aligned effort, a body you respect, relationships that breathe, work that makes you more human rather than less. Sit down with a pen and design a successful day. Write what it looks like and then practice living it before you chase a successful decade. Clarity saves years. Your inputs become your outputs. Guard what you feed your mind with the same attention you give your diet when your body matters to you. If your daily consumption is chaos, your thoughts will be frantic. If your daily consumption is wisdom, your thoughts will be sturdy. Read 10 pages before the world speaks to you. Keep a list of questions you'd like your older self to answer and go look for answers outside the loudest rooms. Practice being alone without being lonely, that skill protects your peace. Character is the spine that holds it all together. It's easy to be kind when praised, principled when watched, and disciplined when the outcome is obvious. The test comes when nothing applauds, when money is tight, when someone else gets the thing you wanted, when your effort goes unnoticed. Hold your values anyway. Keep your word when it costs you. Respect people who cannot help you. Choose the honest, I don't know yet, over the polished lie. These are not strategies for looking good, they are ways to live with yourself in the dark. None of this matters if your body collapses. You are not a head floating above a machine, you are a whole person. Sleep like it's part of your job, because it is. Move daily so your mind has a place to put its stress. Drink more water than drama. See the sun. Stretch the corners where tension hides. You don't have to chase extremes. You do have to treat your body like the tool that makes every dream possible. A clear mind inside a strong body is an unfair advantage, give it to yourself. And finally, live with urgency that feels like love, not panic. Count your weeks, not to frighten yourself, but to focus yourself. The future is built by the next honest hour, not by the fantasy of some perfect season when life calms down and you feel ready at last. Begin where you are. If you are tired, begin gently. If you are afraid, begin briefly. If you are excited, begin deeply. But begin. Today will either be a page you remember proudly or a blur you cannot recall. You choose which. If this message found you at the exact moment you needed it, let it do more than comfort you. Let it change the next thing you do. Close the app after you repeat the lines that matter to you. Stand up. Breathe slowly. Choose one action that moves the real needle. Write the outreach email and send it. Put on your shoes and walk for 20 minutes. Open the book and read one page aloud to train your English mouth and ear. Record a voice note to yourself and listen back to hear the progress you miss in the mirror. Craft a day so simple and honest that you can repeat it tomorrow without hating yourself. You don't need a perfect plan. You need a faithful practice. You don't need permission from people who are not living your life. You need permission from your future self, and they are begging you to say yes. No one is coming to save you, and still you are not alone. You have a voice in your chest that can become steady. You have a mind that can become clear. You have a body that can become strong. You have a small circle of people who will show up when you show up for yourself. You have time, not forever, but enough if you start now. So start. Not because you are broken and must be fixed, but because you are capable and ready to grow. Not because you need to perform for an invisible crowd, but because you want to live deeply in the life that is truly yours. Speak these lines with me, softly, to give them shape in your mouth. I keep my word. I choose my circle. I plant and I tend. I feel and I decide. I build what matters. I let go with love. I heal and I move. I practice discipline as loyalty to my future. I feed my mind with wisdom. I show up when no one watches. I focus. I repeat small actions. I speak to myself with respect. I endure boredom and find mastery. I live by values, not applause. I choose discomfort that grows me. I act before I feel ready. I ignore imaginary spotlights. I seek peace over perfect endings. I rely on systems, not moods. I define success for myself. I care for my body. I live with urgency that loves my time. Now breathe. You just trained your English and your life at the same time. If this helped, come back tomorrow and we'll keep practicing together. Not with empty noise. With clear words, steady action, and a future that you are already building one honest sentence at a time.